Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So it has been almost a year since I started down this path of learning about lapidary blades, what makes for a good lapidary blade, and really deep diving into the subject. I did a lot of my testing with a 6-inch trim saw that I had. I had a lot of blades, did a lot of side-by-side comparisons, probably more than most people. Of course, that is not the subject for today. As many of you know, I have a 10-inch trim saw now, which means well, the blade it came with was this. This is an Mk303 blade. And this is without a doubt the most popular lapidary blade on the market today. It is the most highly recommended. You know, there is a lot of people recommending this blade, and I've used it for a couple of months now, and I think it's a perfectly acceptable blade. But therein lies the problem. All of the information out there is anecdotal claims of the quality of it, and like some logical fallacies, some appeal to history fallacies, which hold no weight here on this channel. So I don't care if you've been using a 303 blade for 35 years. Well, I don't know if it has been around 35 years. That style of argument holds no weight here. Let's try to find some evidence. So, in today's video, we'll be taking this Mk303 blade, which goes, depending on where you look today, January 2023, $60 to $70 for this 10-inch blade in the width of 0.040. 60 to 70 bucks. We'll be comparing it to this blade. This is an HSP blade, 10-inch, thickness of 0.039, so effectively the same thickness. This is a $35 blade, so about half the cost of this. So we should expect, right, that this is half as good? This is twice as good? I mean, how does one really quantify? Okay, I will say that if you bought two of these for $70, the two blades would outlive this single blade. Now, why would you want two blades? Well, it's good to have a backup, right? Like, terrible things can happen to a blade of bends and tweaks, and you don't want to be spending days and days waiting for the mailman to show up with a new blade. Well, one thing I have learned about blades over this past year is that they have a lot of similar traits to them. Now we're going to look at some pictures here, and I'm going to show you a picture at 40 magnification. Does anything at all stand out to you? Okay, anything? Anything weird with this photo? Well, actually, it's two blades shown here in the exact same magnification, side by side. Now, can you tell which is the expensive blade? I think a decent number of you guessed the one on the right due to the clustering of diamonds. But that is actually the cheaper HSP blade. So I'm showing you this so that you can see how much these things have in common, okay? They use the same CVD diamonds, chemical vapor deposition diamonds. So there's like a seed material and the diamonds are grown on it. That's the basics of it. CVDs are more complex than that, but that is the, the Cliff Notes version of CVD. So we have basically the same diamonds in the same matrix, and they're using basically the same cores. All of the blades. So when you take two blades that are centered, same thickness, same grit of diamond, same everything, you effectively have the same blade. I've yet to find a blade that is a magic rotating laser beam that just obliterates rocks. Does not exist, people. But in today's video, we'll be testing these two things. We're going to see if the 303 cuts significantly faster than the HSP, and if it leaves a significantly better surface finish. And we will be doing that with the trim saw. This is going to be the test. I have 2 Thunder eggs, one from Richardson's and one from Dugway. They will be clamped in the vise here, and I'm going to take one cut with the Mk303, change out the blade to the HSP, move the egg over, and take about a 2 millimeter thick, very thin slice out of it, and I will end up with 2 halves of a Thunder egg, one cut with each blade, and a very thin slab for some future projects. I'll be doing that with 2 different eggs. This one is generally going to be kind of probably dark blue. We'll have some blue in there, maybe a little bit of opal, hopefully not opal. And the Dugway egg, which can look quite light at times, which is good for testing surface finish. And like I said before, we will be timing those cuts, and I will be going with even, consistent pressure, running water. So there we go. Let's get this thing fired up and going. Second cut on the Dugway with the HSP blade. .126. So now we have the Richardson's egg in here with the HSP blade. And we'll take that first cut. .239. Got the MK blade installed. .317. Before I tell you which one is which, let's look at the surface finish. Thoughts? My other question is, does surface finish even matter? If I took either one of these to my Richardson's high-speed sander, with like an 80 grit pad on it, it would immediately rip right through both of them, and it'd be exactly the same in a matter of seconds. These are both quite smooth, nice finishes off of that saw. To me, surface finish, well, I guess, wait, I'm upside down. Surface finish matters very, very little. Obviously, you don't want any like deep gouges. That's not a deep gouge. That just kind of looks rough there. The deep gouges that would come off of like a tile saw, as example, is something that you want to avoid. Rough marks from a saw blade on a flat surface means very, very little. Okay? That's not like something to be concerned about. Well, Take your guesses. Which side is which? Over here, we have the Mk303, and over here, we have the HSP. Looking at the Dugways, the cut with the MK was 1 minute and 47 seconds, and with the HSP, 1 minute and 26 seconds. The Richardsons with the MK was 3 minutes and 17 seconds, and with the HSP, 2:39. So you draw your conclusions from that. What matters more? Slightly better surface finish or quicker cuts? My takeaway on these two blades, and I must point out, because this is the internet, I bought these myself. These weren't given to me by anybody. These were paid for by me. My takeaway is that the 303 is a perfectly acceptable blade. I'm going to use this one in the future. If you have one, use it. However, that said, it is not twice as good as the HSP to justify the cost. All things created equal, 65 and 35. Now, I would much rather take 2 of these than 1 of these. So you take that how you will. That's my take on it. I would prefer people spend their money going out, going rockhounding and having a good time doing that, and less time lining the pockets of saw blade manufacturers. So that brings me to another point. Why did this cut faster? Now, I've done a lot of testing, and I have looked at a lot of blades, and I've counted a lot of diamonds. And my takeaway is that more is better. Now, to an extent, right? When you look at a photo of CVD diamonds in the matrix on a sintered blade, you will see that they are all kind of spread apart. And that is what you want, okay? If you take a whole bunch of diamonds and you basically, for a saw blade, if you take a whole bunch of diamonds and you just smush them all together and there's not space between them, it doesn't help at all, right? Like, you want some space between them. They need to be able to have some space to cut. You want the matrix supporting the blade. That's why you always run them directionally. So you always put your blade on the same way, never flip it around. And that. So I know some manufacturers out there will be like, less is more. Prove it. Prove it. The only way that could really be proven would be to make 2 duplicate blades, and in one, let's say, have 5 grams of CVD diamonds and the other one have 10 grams, and see which one cuts better. My takeaway, more is better when it comes to cutting with diamond blades up to a certain extent. My recommendation for blades still holds true. For your average rockhound cutting average material, your agates and jaspers and petrified wood and thunder eggs and things and that type of stuff that we go rockhounding for, quartz, all of that, a continuous rim, sintered blade that is average thickness will be your best blade. Everybody has these exceptions. Maybe you cut a lot of marble, a lot of soft stuff, and you want something segmented. You're in a shop. You want something more easily repairable. All of that. But generally speaking, blades like this is what you want. That said, I'm sure a lot of people will have some criticisms of this test. People are very opinionated about it, and they want to love their 303 blades. You go right ahead. Everybody else, maybe spend your money a little wiser. I will leave you with this. Which makes you run faster? A pair of Nikes or a pair of Reeboks? Name brand. You're paying for the name. All right, everybody. I think we'll leave this one here. Thanks for coming by, looking at what I have, listening to what I have to say about these blades. You know, it's something that I'm passionate about. I love this stuff. It is expensive to do these tests. So if you could give me a thumbs up, maybe share this video for me. You know, if you see people talking about blade recommendations and everybody's like 303, 303, 303, maybe throw this in there as a reply. Help me out. All right, y'all. Hopefully I saved you some money. Y'all take care, and I'll catch you in the next video.